What's going on, people? I'm not going to be too long on this. I just want to make a quick comment regarding all of this hoopla or uproar that's going on over Cam Newton apologizing to this reporter, this female reporter. And I'm going to put a link on the bottom so you can hear exactly what he said and how he said it. I really don't think Cam meant any harm by that. That's like me. I'm in a particular sport that's basically male dominated, and then a female walks up and she decides to want to put her 2 cents in, and I've done this in the past where I'd say, "What you know about this, man?" And then she, "Oh, I know a little bit about it, and my brothers was this and my father was this," and I'm like, "What you know about this?" Right? But it's not said as a put down to her. This society is too emotional, too sensitive, and too emotional. Now, I personally don't think that he should have apologized to her, okay? Simply because of the fact that you have all of these females that claim that they want to be equal with man. They want to be able to do the same thing that men do, all right? So when you get a group of men, a group of athletes together, they're going to talk any way that they choose to. There's a comfort zone that they have with each other. All right. They may curse. OK. Whereas if you got a female that's sensitive, she's going to be offended by the fact that they're cursing, or by the mere fact that they're talking about women in a locker room. All right. So I don't think he should have apologized, because if this reporter was as good as she claimed to be, now she might have been knowledgeable on routes and whatnot. But for her to talk to a football player about routes, and he kind of laughed and smirked and was like, "Oh, it's kind of funny," because that's just something that he never really had to experience. Okay, so he kind of smiled, and not in a way where he's talking down or looking down upon her. He's just surprised, like, "Wow, what you know about routes?" It was a good question, and he gave a good answer. Okay. But then, according to her, she said it got a little worse when she approached him afterwards. You know, I don't know what was said. Only he knows what was said. And it really depends upon how she approached him. Because a lot of times females can get offended, and she approached the dude wrong. And if you approach somebody negatively, you may get a negative response. Okay, you may end up getting a response that you really don't want. Okay, so a lot of it may have to do with how she approached him afterwards. You know, "Well, I don't like what you had to say." Of course, he's going to come back with an attitude too, right? But if she's going to be a reporter, and she's going to report, or better yet, interview a male-dominated sport, then she need to get a little spine in her back, man. She can't be all soft and jelly-like. You know, she can't get easily offended. Okay, when a guy says, "What you know about routes?" All right, or he kind of laughed or smirked, she got offended. You know, her womanity or femininity got in the way. Her womanity, I made that up, right? But she got all emotional and squishy. She became like she's a woman, and she became a woman at that moment, right? Because she felt inferior talking to this football player, and he kind of chuckled and says, "It's funny, hearing a woman talk about routes and whatnot." But I don't think he should have apologized, because if you're going to be a reporter and you're going to interview football players, then you need to get a little spine in your back and not get easily offended if somebody makes a comment to you. It wasn't derogatory. It was somewhat of a compliment. Right? And you should have taken it as a compliment, smiled, joked, and went on about your business. But instead, your panties got all wet. So put on your big girl panties and move on, right? And I'm sure that somebody may get offended even by the comment that I'm making. But women, listen, if y'all call yourselves going to be feminists, and you call yourself want to be equal with man, then you need to get a little spine in your back. You need to know how to take certain comments, without getting so easily offended. So now they blowing it all out of proportion, and he's like, now got to beg this female for forgiveness when he really shouldn't have to. She's in the wrong sport. She's in the wrong field, right? if she's so easily offended by the mere fact that he says it's kind of funny hearing a woman talk about routes, okay? Because it's a male-dominated sport, and you don't hear women talking about routes, you know? So I'm going to put the article on the bottom. Feedback, tell me what you think. Subscribe, financially support this channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.